Nana are queer. Let's return to the breaking news. Elon Musk said this on social media on X. The Reform Party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes. Then Nigel Farage responded saying, well, this is a surprise. Elon is a remarkable individual, but on this, I am afraid I disagree. My view remains that Tommy Robinson is not right for reform, and I never sell out my principles. Then Elon now appears to support Reform MP Rupert Lowe, remarking that it makes a lot of sense for him to become the party's leader.
Tweets, in my opinion, Farage is not strong enough to be the leader of the UK. I can see that. It's quite clear to me. He speaks sense, but he doesn't have the strength for...
What happens when two powerful figures, known for their uncompromising views, clash in the public eye? In the latest whirlwind of British politics, Elon Musk's statement that Nigel Farage is not the right man to lead Reform UK has set off a firestorm of debates. This saga, which has unfolded over just a few days, has brought intense scrutiny to Farage, the Reform UK party, and even Musk himself.
Ex-CEO has said on his social media platform the following: the Reform Party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes.
Hey, quick favour before we move on. If you find this political content interesting, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Most of you watch without subscribing, and it's free, but it helps us out so much. Have you done it yet? Thanks a ton for the support. Now, let's get back to the video.
Okay, well, let's bring you some breaking news now. Elon Musk has called on Nigel Farage to resign as leader of the Reform Party. In the last few moments, he has posted on X saying the Reform Party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes.
It all started on January 2nd, when Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur and CEO of X, formerly Twitter, threw his weight behind Tommy Robinson, a controversial figure in British politics. Musk publicly demanded Robinson's release from prison, claiming that his treatment was unjust. This unexpected intervention garnered significant attention, with Musk supporters praising his bold stance and critics accusing him of wading into waters he didn't fully understand.
Perfectly clear on that. I never wanted Tommy Robinson to join UKIP. I don't want him to join Reform UK, and he won't be.
Robinson, currently serving a sentence for contempt of court, has long been a polarizing figure. Supporters view him as a champion of free speech, while detractors see him as a provocateur. Musk's endorsement reignited debates about Robinson's treatment and raised questions about the role of international figures in domestic politics.
Of his government, but now seems to be falling out with who we thought was his ally, Nigel Farage, and the Reform Party, who he had seemed to be so in favour of. What has caused this to happen just as Nigel Farage was preparing to go to the inauguration of Donald Trump and have a chat, he was saying this morning, with Mr. Musk, who is of course going to be taking on a role in the administration.
As Musk's statement gained traction, Nigel Farage and the Reform UK party found themselves under pressure to respond. Farage, known for his populist rhetoric and strong opinions, opted to distance himself from Robinson, labelling him a criminal and doubling down on his disapproval. This move surprised many, especially since a significant portion of Reform UK's base sympathises with Robinson.
Few days, there's been a lot in the news about grooming gangs and the accusations which Mr. Musk has been weighing into that a Labour minister, Jess Phillips, refused to hold a national inquiry into some of these grooming gangs. Of course, this is a story that has been we've heard about over the last 10 years, of absolutely horrific abuse of young girls in a number of UK.
Critics argue that Farage mishandled the situation. Instead of staying neutral or showing empathy for Robinson's plight, Farage's harsh stance alienated potential supporters. Musk, observing the fallout, publicly questioned Farage's suitability to lead Reform UK. According to Musk, A leader must demonstrate strength, conviction, and an ability to stand up for principles, even when they're unpopular.
Now, Nigel Farage, despite being publicly very supportive of Mr. Musk, disagrees with him on a number of things, most notably Tommy Robinson, the far-right activist who Elon Musk is a notable fan of, and Nigel Farage has been very keen, not just in recent years with the Reform Party, but for a very long time, to distance himself from Tommy Robinson, is in prison at the moment.
Musk's critique of Farage was not just a passing comment. It was a calculated statement that struck at the heart of Farage's leadership. Musk has a reputation for being a shrewd judge of character, and his decision to call out Farage suggests he sees deeper flaws in the Reform UK leader's approach.
Or not. A feeling that the American economy, because of confidence, is about to boom. And you compare that to the misery and gloom we have in this country. I wanted to make that point because it really was fascinating to see it. So yes, we had a meeting with Elon Musk.
That's you and your treasurer?
Myself and Nick Candy, my new treasurer, and I've met Musk before and we are in touch. And it's just so interesting listening to Ranel a moment ago. I mean,
it's a photograph on screen of the meeting.
I mean, wake up and smell
Farage's response was measured but defensive. He described Musk as a remarkable individual, but insisted that his principles prevented him from supporting Robinson. However, Musk's issue was never about bringing Robinson into Reform UK. Instead, it was about Farage's unwillingness to address what Musk perceived as a broader issue, the state's treatment of Robinson and its implications for justice and free speech.
Entrepreneurs in history, and he's got serious investments in this country. He's paying serious quantities of tax in this country. He's producing great products that appeal to people in this country. Quite rightly, he's a great interest in the politics of this country and the economy growing. And at the moment, the economy is going south fast, thanks to this incompetent Labour government.
The controversy has left Reform UK at a critical juncture. The party, which positions itself as an alternative to the traditional political establishment, relies heavily on its leader's ability to connect with disillusioned voters. Farage's perceived lack of backbone in this situation has sparked internal debates about the party's direction and whether a leadership change is necessary.
Frankly, a shocking turn. It comes just a few weeks after Farage travelled to Florida to meet with Musk about possible funding for the party. The two men indeed seemed to be very, very close, didn't they? So
some party members argue that Farage's approach is pragmatic, aiming to avoid alienating moderate voters. Others believe that his unwillingness to challenge the establishment undermines the party's core message. Meanwhile, Musk's intervention has added fuel to the fire, with his global platform amplifying the party's internal divisions.
Plenty of allegations about it being covered up by various authorities. There have been a number of local reports by the councils involved into it, and Jess Phillips said that the authorities in Oldham, in Greater Manchester, should hold a local inquiry, not a national inquiry, causing Mr. Musk to tweet that she should be jailed.
Elon Musk's involvement in this saga highlights his increasing influence in global politics. By taking a stance on a contentious issue in the UK, Musk has positioned himself as a defender of free speech and justice. His comments have resonated with many, particularly those who feel disenfranchised by traditional political systems.
Straight face. I mean, if you live by the tweet, you die by the tweet, is possibly my initial response. Elon, look, I'm going to say the same thing, in fairness to Reform, as I would have said last week when Elon Musk was tweeting about Jess Phillips.
However, Musk's critics argue that his understanding of British politics is superficial. They question his motivations and suggest that his statements may do more harm than good. Regardless of the criticism, Musk's ability to shape narratives and spark debates cannot be ignored.
Elon Musk today that almost broke the internet. He said the Reform Party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes. He then went on to suggest he'd like to see Reform MP Rupert Lowe take over. Now, Elon might be a frequent present at Mar-a-Lago and have Donald Trump's ear for now, but let's be frank, he was a late boarder of the Trump train and only jumped on the Make America Great Again bandwagon when it was clear Donald was going to win the election. He calls himself MAGA, but unlike Nigel Farage, who's been supporting Donald Trump since the very beginning of his political journey in 2016, Elon said at the time, I feel a bit stronger that Donald Trump is not the right guy. He doesn't seem to have the sort of character that reflects well on the United States. And it goes on. A year later, Trump recruited Elon to serve on 2 presidential councils, but Elon soon quit after Trump withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord. Elon tweeted at the time, "I'm departing presidential councils. Climate change is real. Leaving Paris is not good for America or the world." So he's a climate fanatic also. And in 2022, Musk was encouraging Trump to hang up his boots and quit politics. He said, "I don't hate the man, but it's time for Trump to hang up his hat and sail into the sunset. Democrats, should also call off the attack. Don't make it so that Trump's only way to survive is to regain the presidency." Even in March 2024, when it was clear to every man and his dog, let's be honest, that Trump would win the election, Elon still announced on X that he wouldn't endorse a political candidate. It was only in July that year, when Trump narrowly avoided being assassinated.
Farage's handling of this controversy has exposed both his strengths and weaknesses as a leader. While he remains a charismatic figure with a loyal following, his critics point to a pattern of prioritizing personal ego over the party's broader goals. Musk's critique has amplified these concerns, forcing Farage to defend his record and reaffirm his commitment to reform UK's principles.
Frankly, before Elon Musk was a part of the Trump government, he could say what he wanted, he was a private citizen. He is now running a US government department and should be a little bit more careful about constantly interfering in the politics of another.
This episode also underscores the challenges of leading a populist party. Farage must balance the expectations of his base with the need to appeal to a broader electorate. His response to Musk's comments suggests a reluctance to take risks, which some view as a betrayal of the party's anti-establishment ethos.
Rape scandal, which has resurfaced, and transcripts of what was said in court have been online, and I recommend you at home don't read them. You won't sleep at night.
Elon Musk's sharp critique of Nigel Farage has sparked intense debates about the direction of Reform UK. Musk's disapproval hints at a broader concern: the party's leadership and its ability to address key issues. This moment has placed Farage under scrutiny, with many questioning whether he represents the bold leadership needed to challenge the political status quo. Musk's influence and global reach have introduced a new layer of accountability, forcing Reform UK to confront its internal strategies and public image. Musk's assertion that he would never get out. The outcome of this controversy could redefine the party's role in British politics, emphasising the need for innovative and adaptive leadership.
He is attacking the leadership in Britain. He's very supportive of me. He's very supportive of the party. He sees Robinson as one of these people that fought against the grooming gangs. But of course the truth is Tommy Robinson's in prison, not for that, but for contempt of court for the 3rd occasion. But I mean, equally, there are people in Britain who think that Robinson is a political prisoner. That's the narrative that he's pushed out. That's how he earns his living, but it isn't quite true.
Nigel Farage's leadership has long been a topic of admiration and contention. While his efforts in Brexit solidified his political legacy, recent events have exposed potential vulnerabilities. Critics argue that his handling of sensitive matters, such as the Tommy Robinson debate, reveals a hesitance to stand firm on polarising issues. This perceived lack of resolve has opened the door for figures like Musk to question his suitability for leadership. For Farage, this represents a pivotal moment. He must either reaffirm his commitment to reform UK's vision or risk losing the confidence of supporters seeking decisive action in turbulent times.
Very good evening to you. Thank you for your company. Wow, what a day in British politics and indeed, I guess, international politics as well. Now, look, these are my thoughts on this whole charade. He doesn't need my advice, but Donald Trump should wash his hands of Elon Musk after his attack on Nigel Farage today. Trump's first White House term from 2016 was beset by deep state agitators and backstabbers. He'll know this already. He doesn't need me to tell him. But he should be wary that he doesn't repeat the same mistake again this time round, and I'll explain.
The controversy has left Farage and Reform UK at a crossroads. Musk's comments have sparked debates about the party's leadership and direction, with some calling for Farage to step down. Others believe that Farage can weather the storm and emerge stronger by addressing the criticism head-on. For Farage, the key challenge will be to rebuild trust with his base, while demonstrating the strength and conviction that Musk and others believe he lacks. This may require a shift in strategy, with greater emphasis on standing up for controversial issues and challenging the establishment.
And while I personally find this hilarious, I also found the stuff about Jess Phillips really scary and worrying, and the stuff about Keir Starmer bloody stupid. But ultimately,
the clash between Nigel Farage and Elon Musk is more than just a political spat. It's a reflection of deeper tensions within British politics and society. As Reform UK grapples with questions about its leadership and direction, Musk's intervention serves as a reminder of the growing influence of global figures in domestic affairs.
While I personally find this hilarious, I also found the stuff about Jess Phillips really scary and worrying, and the stuff about Keir Starmer bloody stupid. But ultimately, when he's a private citizen, Musk can say what he likes on his own platform. As he is now part of an incoming US administration, I would be more.
Farage's response to this controversy will shape his legacy and the future of Reform UK. Whether he can rise to the challenge and prove Musk wrong remains to be seen. One thing is certain, this saga has left an indelible mark on the British political landscape, and its implications will be felt for years to come.
Musk can say what he likes on his own platform. As he is now part of an incoming US administration, I would be more careful.
But the thing is, I mean, there's been lots of interference from this country in American politics. Many Labour cabinet ministers had plenty to say about the...
What do you think of this dramatic turn of events? Is Farage still the right man to lead Reform UK? Or is it time for a change? Let us know your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Watch more videos here for the latest insights.